Okay, here's the galaxy, here's the quasar. A little story behind this. When it first came out, and Holt and Arp published this, it got on the NASA website, and you can get on the NASA website now, and you can see the galaxies, and you can see they have a picture. They call it an astro photograph of the day, and it goes back to like 2000 or 1999 or something. And every day they've taken something from the Hubble and other places, and it's on that website, and it's beautiful. It's great. You can see these things. And I saw the luminous bridge, and I was excited. And so I was going to download it. So I went back to download it, and this is what I have. Do you see a luminous bridge? Do you see anything connecting these two that you would jump up and down and publish it? The fact is, there is no luminous bridge here. As a matter of fact, this picture was put in place of the real picture that Holt and Arp saw. NASA took it off the website. The amount of flack that came out of that was gargantuan, and they said, get it off. And instead they put up a blurred out version which would calm the uninitiated. It didn't. We have mavericks within our groups. So, next. Here is the quasar, here, and here's the galaxy. Quasar, galaxy. So, we put it in reverse light. Quasar, galaxy. What do you see? Luminous bridge. Okay. Now, go to the next. Get a little bit closer. Luminous bridge. They're sharing material. There are stars going back and forth. There's material going back and forth between this quasar that's on the edge of the universe and this galaxy. Okay? There it is, and you can't hide it. So the cat's out of the bag. Next. Georgia? Okay, that's my dog, and that's me. Next. I once wrote to the President of the United States when I was about 7 years old, explaining to him that the space race could be won earlier if they used kids, because we weighed less, and therefore there would be less propulsion material. It'd save everybody money, and kids can learn quick and fast, and you know, and I'm volunteering. I never made it up there. It's kind of sad. Okay, so the redshift. The two objects have two discordant, that should be one word, redshifts. The galaxy is receding at 1,800 kilometers a second. The quasar is traveling at 21,000 kilometers a second. Well, it's not okay, so they're traveling different speeds. But here's what hurts. Next. According to the Hubble law, okay, we're looking at the two of them. We're looking at the light, we're looking at the spectrum. We are seeing how fast they're traveling and how far away they are according to the Hubble law. Okay, we don't have too many laws. Law of gravity, law of Hubble, okay? Equate the two of these now. And the galaxy is 107 million light years away. The quasar is 1.2 billion light years away, 12 times further apart. Absolutely impossible. And they all know it. And they've all said it. And they've said, oh, wow, there's got to be a mistake. We must be seeing something different. Maybe something's, maybe this is a photograph. Oh, dear, this is something. And you got people spinning little things happening like this. And creationists would do the same thing. If you found something this astounding, I'm going to show you how astounding this is. This means that the Hubble law dictates that that quasar is 12 times further away from that galaxy, but yet they're sharing material. That means that the quasar and the galaxy are actually next to each other, sharing material. That means the Hubble law is a law. The Hubble law is a law. It's like me telling you gravity doesn't exist and then floating off up to the ceiling. Okay, next. Astronomer William Kaufman, one of the best brilliant astronomers of our time says, if ARP is correct about redshifts not being distance indicators, if his observations are confirmed, he will have single-handedly shaken all modern astronomy to its very foundation. If he is right, one of the pillars of modern astronomy and cosmology will come crashing down in a turmoil unparalleled since Copernicus dared to suggest that the sun, not the earth, was at the center of the solar system. There it goes. It's all over with. We aren't that far distant. We can't measure distance. We don't know what distance is. And because distance is related to time, evolution is related to time, evolution now is in dire straits. And it really is. It is a theory in crisis. Many evolutionists, prominent evolutionists, I could spend a whole lecture just reading you the quotes from these men, that they're simply saying it's not working. We have got to come up with something else. And everything keeps pointing to design. Everything keeps pointing to God. Something out there is doing this and they don't want to recognize it. But many of them were born into evolution. And now the confusion has to be discussed. This gentleman, Halton Arp, he is so bad. He waited and published, but he wasn't finished. I have his book. It's this thick. He has found hundreds of these things. Hundreds. Not just one. He has totally shredded the Hubble law. He is showing how these little quasars are actually being ejected out of the galaxies. And according to Einstein's theory, you can't have these discordant distances and these discordant movements and speed. You can't do that. And still call them separated. And so he has a whole book of these. So we can't just look at one and say, well, one is just it's just an anomaly, we can shelve it. We can't shelve this. It has to be addressed. And the Hubble law looks like it's shaking on very wobbly knees. Next.